That one right there made me the greatest player of all time. That's what I felt.
Was asked to rank Kobe Bryant and LeBron James, the frustration in his voice was real. Not because he dislikes LeBron, but because the question itself ignored what greatness meant in his world. Bird comes from an era where respect was earned in silence. You did not talk yourself into history, you worked your way into it. When Bird shut the debate down, he was defending a standard, not attacking a player. Bird grew up in a time when basketball was unforgiving. Every game was physical. Every possession was a test. You were hit, grabbed, pushed, and challenged without mercy. There was no protection for stars. There were no whistles to save you. You survived or you didn't. That environment shaped how Bird sees greatness, and it explains why the Kobe versus LeBron debate never sat right with him. To Bird, Kobe Bryant represented obsession. He represented sacrifice. Kobe did not wait for comfort. He chased discomfort. Early workouts, late nights, endless.
We all can be masters at our craft, but you have to make a choice. What I mean by that is the inherent sacrifices that come along with that.
Own career and the players he respected most. LeBron James, on the other hand, represents something different. He represents alignment. He thrives when conditions are right. The right teammates, the right system, the right timing. That does not mean he lacks greatness. It means his greatness is built differently. Bird noticed that difference immediately. To him, the contrast was clear and important. When Bird spoke about playing with LeBron being fun, but choosing Kobe to win and win and win, he was not insulting LeBron. He was defining roles. Fun means highlights, power, speed, and dominance. Winning means pressure, pain, and responsibility when everything is on the line. Kobe lived for those moments. He wanted the hardest shot, the toughest defender, and the loudest arena. That mentality separated him. Bird understands pressure better than most. He played through injuries that would sideline many players today. He dislocated his shoulder and still finished games. He competed in an era where fear was part of basketball. When Bird sees Kobe, he sees that same willingness to suffer quietly. That is why his words carry weight. Kobe Bryant never chased approval. He never chased popularity. He chased mastery. Every season, he added something new to his game. Footwork, balance, angles, patience.
Like him, but Mike, that's it. People talk about, your favorite players or the best players in the world. I say Mike, and I say Kobe. You know what I mean? And then everybody else.
The chosen one. Media, brands, and the league invested early. His career was packaged before it fully unfolded. That does not remove his achievements, but it changes the context. Bird noticed that difference. Kobe entered the league with no safety net. He earned everything the hard way. Bird coached and worked in the front office. He saw players up close. He watched habits, routines, and reactions to failure. Kobe's routine stood out. Early mornings, repeated drills, and detailed film study were not optional. They were daily requirements. Kobe demanded more from himself than anyone else ever could. Bird also saw LeBron's brilliance, the strength, the vision, the control of the game, but he also saw reliance on structure. LeBron's game thrives when conditions are right, the right teammates, the right system, the right timing. That does not mean he lacks greatness. It means his greatness is built differently. Bird noticed that difference immediately. To him, the contrast was clear and important. Defense tells part of the story. Kobe took pride in guarding the best player on the floor. He wanted the challenge. He made all defensive teams again and again because defense was part of his identity. It was not optional, it was personal. Bird respects that mindset because he lived it. Kobe also embraced responsibility in ways few players ever have. Late game shots, even when inefficient.
So I'm walking with Kobe through the Olympic Village, and this is when I realized he was at a different level than I. This could speak 9 different languages. He spoke to everybody in their native.
Pain never stopped Kobe. Broken fingers, torn ligaments, exhausted legs, none of it mattered. He played through injuries because that was the standard he set for himself. The Achilles injury, the free throws, the calm walk to the bench, that moment defined who he was. Bird does not forget moments like that. LeBron plays in a different league, literally and culturally. Load management, star protection, and optimized schedules exist now. That does not make LeBron weak. It makes the eras different. Bird never ignores context. and context matters when comparing players across generations. The league Kobe entered was built to break scores. Hand-checking was legal, big men ruled the paint, defenders were allowed to be physical. Every drive came with a price. Kobe survived and thrived in that environment. That earns respect from players like Bird.
Kobe's scoring was not just about numbers, it was about how those points were created. Footwork, timing, balance, and repetition. 81 points were not an accident, they were the result of thousands of hours alone in gyms. Bird understands that level of preparation. LeBron's scoring is built on power and speed. He overwhelms defenders physically. It is impressive and effective, but it is different. Kobe's offense was a craft. LeBron's offense is force. Bird values craft because it lasts. Fear is another part of the conversation. Kobe made opponents uncomfortable before the game even started. His presence alone shifted energy. Players felt it. Coaches felt it. Bird recognizes that psychological edge because he used it himself. LeBron commands respect, but not fear in the same way. His game is structured. Defenders know what is coming. Systems can be built to contain him. Kobe could not be contained because he did not follow patterns. The way legends speak matters. Magic Johnson, Allen Iverson, Shaquille O'Neal all placed
finger, and it can be really, really difficult depending on the dislocation back into place. And then as soon as it goes in, he was gone. Like I patted him on the head, like, okay, it's gonna be okay. Next thing I know, he was gone. That in and of itself showed the toughness.
He pulled it back to principle. Kobe Bryant never called himself the greatest. He never needed to. His work spoke. LeBron has at times declared his own greatness. That difference matters to players from Bird's era. Self-crowning breaks an unwritten rule they lived by. Off the court, Kobe remained consistent. He focused on teaching, mentoring, and creating opportunities for others. There was no need to announce it. The impact spoke for itself. Bird values quiet influence. LeBron's off-court presence is powerful, but carefully managed. Every move is framed. Every message is strategic. That approach works in today's world, but it feels different to old-school legends. Larry Bird was not ending LeBron's career or denying his greatness. He was defending a definition. Greatness to him is obsession without comfort. It is sacrifice without applause. It is silence followed by results. Kobe Bryant fit that definition perfectly. His life revolved around mastery. He accepted isolation. He accepted criticism. He accepted pain, and he never asked for permission. That is why Bird reacted the way he did, not out of anger, not out of hate, but out of respect for the game he loves. Some debates are not opinions, they are standards. When Bird spoke, he reminded everyone that not all greatness looks the same, and not all greatness is judged by numbers alone. Some greatness is felt, endured, and remembered long after the noise fades. Once you understand that, the reaction makes sense, and once you see it clearly, the debate no longer needs to continue. The reason this discussion still matters today is because basketball fans often mix achievement with meaning. Numbers can be counted, rings can be listed, but impact is harder to measure. Larry Bird was pointing toward impact. He was pointing toward how a player changes the room, the tone, and the mindset of everyone around him. That is something you either understand from experience or you never fully grasp. When Kobe Bryant walked into a gym, the temperature changed. Teammates knew practice would be intense. There would be no shortcuts, no excuses. Kobe demanded focus because he demanded it from himself first. That level of seriousness forced everyone else to rise or get exposed. Bird respects that because it is leadership through example, not words. LeBron James leads differently. He communicates more. He empowers teammates verbally. He builds trust through connection. That approach works in many situations, especially in today's NBA. But Bird's era believed leadership was proven under pressure, not explained. That difference shapes how legends from different generations respond to the debate. Another part that often gets ignored is accountability. Kobe never avoided blame. Losses were his responsibility. Missed shots were his burden. He did not deflect, he absorbed it. That mindset aligns with Bird's own career, where failure was personal and public. Great players from that era believe responsibility defines greatness. LeBron has taken responsibility at times, but he has also shifted blame to systems, rosters, or circumstances. Even when those points are valid, they clash with the old-school mentality. Bird and players like him believe the greatest player carries everything, even when it hurts. Preparation is another key difference. Kobe studied opponents obsessively. He knew tendencies, habits, and weaknesses. He prepared for players most fans never noticed. That level of detail impressed veterans across the league. Bird sees preparation as respect for the game itself. LeBron prepares differently. His preparation focuses on body maintenance, recovery, and longevity. That has allowed him to play at a high level for many years. It is impressive, but it reflects a modern approach. Bird's generation values sacrifice over sustainability. Moments define legacies. Kobe's moments are filled with difficulty, tough shots, bad spacing, injured bodies, impossible situations. He wanted the ball when everything was going wrong. Bird understands that instinct because he lived it.
LeBron's best moments often come when the game flows correctly, when spacing is clean, when teammates are aligned, when systems work. That does not diminish those moments, but it explains why some legends view them differently. This is why Larry Bird's words still echo. He was not ranking careers, he was explaining identity. Kobe's identity was relentless pursuit. LeBron's identity is strategic dominance. Both are great, but they're not the same. Fans sometimes want a single answer to complex questions. Bird refused to simplify it. He chose Kobe not because LeBron lacks greatness, but because Kobe embodied the version of greatness Bird respects most. That version does not ask for recognition. It does not demand praise. It does not chase validation. It works, suffers, and waits. And eventually, respect arrives on its own. Michael Jordan followed that same path. He never asked to be called the greatest. He focused on winning, improving, and competing. The title followed him. Kobe followed Jordan's path closely, both in style and mindset. Bird recognized that connection immediately. LeBron's path is unique. His influence is massive. His career is historic. But influence and legacy are not judged the same way by every generation. Bird speaks for a group that values struggle as much as success. This is why debates like this never truly end. They are not about stats or awards. They are about values. What do you believe greatness should look like? How should it be earned? And what does it demand from the person chasing it? Larry Bird answered that question honestly. His answer was shaped by pain, effort, and competition. It was shaped by players who never took nights off and never asked for comfort. Understanding that does not require choosing sides. It requires listening. Bird was reminding fans that greatness has a cost, and not everyone is willing to pay it the same way. In the end, his reaction was not meant to tear anyone down. It was meant to protect a standard built on work, sacrifice, and respect for the game. And that standard is why Kobe Bryant continues to be mentioned with reverence long after his career ended. It is why his mindset still inspires players across the world. That is what Larry Bird saw. That is what he defended. And that is why his words still matter today. What often gets lost in these conversations is how much context matters. Players are shaped by the eras they come from. The rules, the style of play, the pressure from media, and the expectations from fans all play a role. Larry Bird understands that better than most because he lived through an era where there was no safety net. You performed where you were replaced. There was no protecting reputations. In Bird's time, superstars were expected to dominate without excuses. Injuries were hidden, not announced. Personal issues stayed private. You showed up and competed no matter what. That environment created a certain type of player, one that valued toughness over comfort. Kobe Bryant fit perfectly into that mold, even though he played in a later era. Kobe adopted that mentality by choice. He studied the past. He wanted to suffer the way the greats before him suffered. He believed pain was part of the process. Bird respects that because it shows intent. Kobe didn't just inherit greatness, he chased it. LeBron James came into the league as a chosen one. The pressure was different. The spotlight was constant. Every move was analyzed. That kind of attention forces players to be careful. It encourages control, planning, and image management. LeBron mastered that world. He became not just a player, but a brand. Bird never cared about branding. Neither did Jordan. Neither did Kobe. Their focus was narrow and intense. Basketball came first. Everything else followed later.
That single-minded focus is what older legends admire most. Another reason Bird's words resonate is because they reflect honesty. He didn't try to be diplomatic. He didn't soften his opinion to avoid backlash. He spoke from experience. That kind of honesty is rare in modern sports discussions, where opinions are often filtered through business interests. Bird wasn't saying LeBron isn't great. He was saying greatness comes in different forms, and not all forms are equal in his eyes. That distinction matters. It reminds fans that admiration is personal. It's shaped by values, not trends. Kobe represented obsession. LeBron represents balance. One is not morally better than the other, but in competitive sports, obsession often earns more respect from those who lived it. Bird understands obsession because he lived it every day he stepped on the court. When fans argue endlessly about rankings, they miss the deeper message. The real question isn't who is number one. The real question is what kind of greatness you admire. Do you admire dominance through control or dominance through sacrifice? Bird answered that question long ago. He respects the player who gives everything, even when it costs them physically and mentally. He respects the player who carries the weight alone and never asks for sympathy. That is why Kobe's legacy continues to grow with time. Young players study his mindset, coaches quote his discipline, fans respect his honesty. His career feels complete because it followed a clear philosophy from start to finish. LeBron's story is still being written. His career is still evolving. His impact will be judged differently by future generations. Time will decide how his legacy settles. But Bird's reaction reminds us that not all legacies are measured the same way. Some are built through longevity and numbers. Others are built through moments, mentality, and myth. Both matter, but to legends like Larry Bird, the soul of the game matters most. The struggle, the sacrifice, the refusal to back down. That is the lens through which he spoke, and when you understand that lens, his words make perfect sense. This debate will never truly end, and that's a good thing. It keeps the history alive. It forces fans to learn, to compare eras, and to respect different paths to greatness. In the end, Bird wasn't trying to crown a winner. He was protecting the meaning of the game he loved. And that meaning, built on effort, pride, and competition, will always matter more than numbers on a stat sheet.